Fucking, Austria.
Fucking is an Austrian village in the municipality of Tarsdorf, in the Innviertel region of western Upper Austria. The village is 33 kilometers north of Salzburg, 4 kilometers east of the German border. Despite having a population of only 104, the village has become famous for its name in the English-speaking world. Its road signs are a popular visitor attraction, and were often stolen by souvenir hunting tourists until 2005, when they were modified to be theft-resistant.
Etymology.
It is believed that the settlement was founded in the 6th century by Focko, a Bavarian nobleman. The existence of the village was documented for the first time in 1070, and historical records show that some 20 years later, the lord was Adalbertus de Fusingin. The spelling of the name has evolved over the years. It is first recorded in historical sources with the spelling as Vukshingen in 1070, Fuching in 1303, Fuckling in 1532, and in the modern spelling Fucking in the 18th century, which is pronounced with the vowel U as in book. The ending ing is an Old Germanic suffix indicating the people belonging to the root word to which it is attached, thus fucking means, place of, Focko's people.
Demographics and transportation.
The Austrian census of 2001 recorded that the village had a population of 93. The age reported in 2005 that it had 104 people and 32 houses.
Name and notoriety.
Fucking's most famous feature is 4 traffic signs with its name on them, beside which tourists stop to have their photograph taken, owing to the identical spelling to the present participle and gerund of the English language profanity fuck. One version of the sign features the village name with an additional sign beneath it, with the words bit, nix so schnell. Please, not so fast. The lower sign, which features an illustration of 2 children, is meant to advise drivers to slow down, but tourists interpret it, in conjunction with the fucking sign, as a double entendre. British and American soldiers based in nearby Salzburg noticed the name after World War II, and began to travel to the village to have their photos taken beside the signs while striking various poses. The local residents, the fuckingers, were considerably bemused as they had not previously been aware of the meaning of their village's name when read as English. Since then, the number of visitors to Fucking has increased, with the occasional visit by a tour bus. The village is especially popular with British tourists. As a local tour guide explained, the Germans all want to see Mozart's house in Salzburg. The Americans want to see where The Sound of Music was filmed. The Japanese want Hitler's birthplace in Braunau. But for the British, it's all about fucking. Augustina Lindbauer, the manager of an area guest house, noted that the area had lakes, forests, and vistas worth visiting, but there was an obsession with fucking. Lindbauer recalled how she had to explain to a British female tourist that there were no fucking postcards. The road signs were commonly stolen as souvenirs, the only crime which has been reported in the village. It cost some €300 to replace each stolen sign, and the costs were reflected in the taxes that local residents pay. In 2004, owing mainly to the stolen signs, a vote was held on changing the village's name, but the residents voted against doing so. Tarsdorf municipality's mayor Siegfried Hoppl stated that it was decided to keep the name as it had existed for 800 years, and further stated that everyone here knows what it means in English, but for us fucking is fucking, and it's going to stay fucking. After a spate of thefts, which included the theft of all 4 signs in one night, and a total of 15 over a period of several years, in August 2005 the road signs were replaced with theft-resistant ones, welded to steel and secured in concrete to prevent them being stolen. Mayor Hoppl said that officials were fed up with English-speaking tourists stealing the signs, and noted that with the newly installed signs it would take all night to steal one. Hoppl said that tourists, and the money they bring to the area, were welcome, but locals were sick of replacing the fucking signs. Commander Schmtzberger, the local police chief, also hinted at other avenues to stop what he calls foreign criminals from disturbing order in the village. Regarding these other avenues, Schmtzberger stated, they are, I am not at liberty to disclose, but we will not stand for the fucking signs being removed. It may be very amusing for you British, but fucking is simply fucking to us. What is this big fucking joke? It is puerile. A resident of the village, Joseph Winkler, attempted to cash in on the village's fame by setting up a website, www.fuckingat, on which he sold t-shirts featuring the village road signs, with the slogan "I like fucking in Austria" printed on them. According to Winkler, they were selling well, and he was in negotiations with Maxim regarding possible promotions, but was forced to stop his venture after being shouted at and threatened in the street. Winkler said, "It was a bit of fun that didn't hurt anyone, but I found out that in this region you just can't do something like that. The whole thing became a real trial for me and I had to stop. People are very traditional here." In July 2009, it was announced that the village would install CCTV cameras in an attempt to deter summertime tourists from filming themselves having sexual intercourse in front of the fucking signs. A resident of the village said that installing cameras around the village may make tourists think twice and instead choose only to have a photograph taken in front of the sign. Jürgen Stoll, the operator of a guest house at Wank, close to the Austrian-German border, stated that the residents of fucking should be cashing in on its name, although Mayor Franz Meindl states, "We don't find it funny. We just want to be left alone. We don't harm anyone and just want to live in peace." And added that he would prefer not to see the village being featured in the press anymore. Meindl appears to have the opposite view to former Mayor Hoppl, by proclaiming that residents wish their village to be left alone by tourists. Putting the problem in context, however, TZ Online notes that numerous villages across the border in Germany have names that are unfortunate even in German, including Fendorf, Monkey Village, Vorbutter, Putrid Butter, Vickmeilen, Fuck Mill, Himmelreich, Kingdom of Heaven, Katzenhörn, Cat Brain, Plod, Stupid, Regenmantel, Raincoat, Sklavenhorse, Slave House, and Wartson, Warts. In 2009, the European Union's OHIM Trademarks Agency forbade a German brewery to market a beer called Fucking Hell. It appealed, and was granted permission in January 2010 to market the beer. It claims the beer is named after the Austrian village Fucking and the German term for pale lager, Hell.
False rumors of name change.
Rumors spread through international news media in April 2012 that villagers had been thinking about changing the name of the village or had actually voted to change it. The satirical website The Spoof published a story on April 18, 2012 saying that the villagers were fed up and wanted to change the name. This minor satire was expanded upon and appeared on the same day in the Daily Mirror newspaper and elsewhere during the following week as a genuine news item, and was repeated by The Guardian and the Huffington Post, who reported that a vote had taken place to change the name to Fugging, but it was discovered that a village with that name already existed in the municipality of Obertsberg Rust just west of Erzoggenberg. The mayor of Fucking denied these false stories when contacted.